So we have a few people joining right now, Babu. So welcome to the program. How are you today?
Wonderful.
Very good. Very good.
So you're allowing, so attendees are joining. Okay.
Yeah, so we have people are joining. We'll just take a few minutes, and we're recording this webinar, and then we're also doing a Facebook Live like we always do. So just a great day today. We have so many people, and especially I like to thank DEGC, Detroit Economic Growth Corporation, to partnering with us today, and then and working with us to take the message, this transformation program to Detroit. And we know that we are going through a transformation period right here, so this will be a great idea. So Babu, tell me about, while we are like some of these people are joining at Wayne State, what are something exciting happening right now in terms of transformation or from the technology perspective or data analytics perspective? That is your background.
Sure, Naman. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program today. So Ratna Babuchinam, Professor and Chair in the Industrial and Systems Engineering Department at Wayne State, been with Wayne State for the past 20 years, and very passionate about data science, analytics, and facilitating business transformation through digital technologies and AI. My journey with data science and machine learning got started in the late 80s. Starting with my dissertation, I have always been looking at, how can we leverage data science and analytics to advance manufacturing quality, service operations. In terms of Wayne State, we recognize the importance. We have a lot of expertise within the college, within the department. We have fantastic programs, world-class programs about data science and business analytics. We are constantly rolling out new programs in robotics, in mobility, in cyber physical systems. So lots of programs that are available. We also organize a number of events in this space, providing thought leadership to the business community, and through our big data and business analytics summits that have been running for the past 7 years, that bring about some 500 participants every year from well over 100 companies. So a lot of interesting things that are happening, and great to contribute to this discussion today.
Very good. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program. My name is Numan. And today we're talking about leveraging Industry 4.0 for operational excellence. And it is my great pleasure to have my friend, my colleague, and a co-founder at IndustryX with me. And we're talking about some of the inspirations of Industry 4.0, what is IndustryX is doing, and we will be sharing some of the case studies. I also like to thank Detroit Economic Growth Corporation to partnering with us and taking this message to the Detroit community, to the business leaders. So I welcome you all to this program. This program, I just want to give you a quick idea about this program. So the first hour of this program from 11 to 12 is a webinar style program in which we will provide information about, number one, what is the inspiration to pursue Industry 4.0 for OpEx, operational excellence. We will tell you a little bit about IndustryX. We'll talk about this transformation journey, how can you start, and then we'll talk about a few of the case studies that we brought. Then we will move into the second part, which is a discussion and Q&A session. We've already sent a Zoom link to everyone, but I will add the Zoom link in the chat as well. So once the first hour is complete, we will move to this Zoom link where we will have an open discussion about the state of the industry, what is going on. So it will be a virtual meeting. And then we will take some questions and we will talk about what can we do. So I hope that you can stay through the whole program, this 2-hour program. We've designed this program especially for you, and hoping that you will enjoy it, and then you'll take part in the discussion piece as well. So with this, I like to start with some of the challenges in the age of disruption. Number one, when I see the market right now, I'm seeing that the operational efficiency has been stagnant. And we're going to see in this program that how Industry 4.0 or technologies are resetting the benchmarks. The new benchmarks are being created. So that's a great shift. That's a great value that technology is bringing to this first challenge in the market. Second one is the growth outlook. So when I look at the market and the growth outlook, we're seeing that during this time, the companies are challenged with that how they're going to grow in this environment. So again, we need to take a look at technology, and we will take a look at some of the case studies, how this Industry 4.0 is moving the needle in terms of the growth. Number three, which is to me is one of the most important aspect or the challenge of this market right now, because the business models have been disrupted. And unless we can innovate new business models, the companies will struggle with the existing business models. So there's a need to look into business model innovation, in which, and we're seeing that how companies are evolving, and this change, this transformation is started in media, in retail, and some of the industries before operations. And now operation is trying to catch up. And we're also seeing that how they're using data, and how they're monetizing data, and they're evolving themselves in many different ways. So I think this is another challenge, and then maybe we can have a discussion on this as well. And number four is demanding customer expectations. And we have seen that how the customer expectations have changed over the years. And the last one is the mindset and the culture in this environment. How people are thinking, how leadership is thinking is fundamental, that we change the mindset to excel, to win in this market. And I think we're gonna have some discussions about this as well during the program. With this, technology can help. So, this is one example that just want to highlight here, that how automation can help. And these are a number of on this right chart, you can see that how industries are benefiting from this automation transformation. So I'm going to invite Babu to maybe give your perspective on this in general, but maybe in automation as well, how technology can improve.
Sure, Naman. So first, what we see is the opportunity for automation varies across industries, right? And manufacturing being the lead industry identified by McKinsey Consulting and others, with significant opportunities to improve operations. But the main point is, this is not about automating all labor activity. This is about transforming the nature of work, right? Shifting labor to more high value added activity. And so technology is allowing us to basically drive the next level of efficiency, right? So traditional programs, right? Traditional programs such as Lean, Six Sigma have allowed us to make significant gains, but technology is now allowing us to basically take it to the next level of efficiency. And of course, there are implications in terms of upskilling the workforce. there are a lot of studies showing that, workers need to be trained on how to basically work with these technologies, how to harness the power of these technologies, how to deploy these technologies for the right kind of applications, working with real-time data flows, allowing, more effective operations decisions, tactical decisions, strategic decisions, and things of the sort. So the key message is, this is not about automating all activities. This is about focusing on high value added work.
Right. And Industry 4.0, which is a set of technologies, can definitely help in this. And now we're seeing Industry 5.0 is emerging. But just a brief background how this Industry 4.0 evolved. And so starting from Industry 1.0, which is the mechanical transformation, Industry 2.0, which is the mass production and the electrical energy. Industry 3.0 is automation, computers, and electronics. Industry 4.0 now is about these cyber physical systems, bringing physical and virtual systems together and harnessing that. And so this is how this revolution is happening right now, and we need to understand that how we can leverage this. And this is the whole point of this discussion. And in the next hour, we like to engage with you in more deeper discussion about some of your questions and some of the ways that you are implementing. You can bring your case studies as well. But anyway, feel free to.
One quick point here, Naman, if you don't mind. Industry 5.0 recognize the importance of people, right? Again, putting people at the center, the focus. People, process, technology should be the order. Industry 4.0 did not do justice. So we now recognize the importance of, once again, making people the core focus of this transformation process. And so the fundamental difference between Industry 4 and Industry 5 is that, process and technology are being developed and deployed to enable more effective people activity.
Okay, very good. So when we talk about Industry 4.0, sometimes it's just overwhelming for leaders, for people, that what entails Industry 4.0. So Industry 4.0 is just a set of tools, technology tools that are being used, that are being used in factories, in operations, in different industries to improve efficiency. And that is the whole idea. And they're connected. All of these tools are connected virtually. They are connecting the virtual systems and the physical systems. And that's how we are using it. But Babu, what is your perspective? How do you see that? Because I'm seeing, like, the conversation that I'm having with the industry and the leaders is that this is too difficult. It requires a massive amount of energy. What is your perspective and with your vast experience in this area?
Sure, Naman. So yes, indeed, when you look at all this, right, I could be in a healthcare facility and I could be thinking, why am I interested in autonomous robots, right? Why should I be obsessing about, cloud computing? I'm not interested in cloud computing, right? I want to basically protect the privacy of my patients' data, things of that sort. So cloud computing is not relevant. So why are we pushing all these technologies onto all these, industries and so on and so forth? So the main point here is there are different kinds of technologies that are relevant for different companies and industries. And we need to identify the right technologies that would allow us to address our pain points. What matters to you? Say, for example, let's build on that healthcare example. If patient flow is what you are struggling with, can technology help us better manage patient flow? Currently we are involved in a collaboration with Henry Ford Health System, where we're trying to basically leverage real-time streaming data to basically help them anticipate Is the patient going to be admitted into the hospital? Where will he be admitted? Do we have the bed capacity? Do we need to turn around the beds to make sure that this patient will not experience a lot of waiting, that he will not be blocking access to other patients coming into the hospital system, things of the sort. So it's not about technology for the sake of technology, it is about solving real business problems. And earlier, Noman, you commented that it is about driving efficiency. Besides efficiency, it is also about fostering innovation, creative thinking, allowing the firm to maybe expand its product lines. And so it's also about, increasing revenues while decreasing costs as well. So attacking, both sides of the equation.
So I think from that point, I assume, Babu, that this technology is not about just within the four walls of the factory, improving that, but this is about improving the whole value chain. Is that what you're referring to?
No, absolutely, right? I mean, for a long time, for the past 2 decades, we're seeing the significance of, effective supply chain management. It's not a company competing against a company. These days, it's more of a supply chain competing against another supply chain and things of that sort, right? So it is about orchestrating the activity across the value chain to be able to provide good value to the end customer and the immediate customer, things of that sort. So certainly, right? So this technology can allow us to better understand what is in my pipeline, right? I have a long lead time supply chain. I have suppliers in Asia, things of that sort. How do I deal with that reality and, better execute today to, fulfill the immediate needs and things of that sort? Yeah, definitely going beyond the four walls of the facility, right? Again, it depends on what are the pain points, right? If the pain points are outside the facility and if there is need for orchestration, then that is what, we should be targeting through these tools and technologies.
So, Babu, at this point, I want to bring the point of attention to these some studies done by World Economic Forum in collaboration with McKinsey. And we have some conversations with them as well. But these lighthouse factories, I think now there are more than 50 factories globally. But there are a number of inferences, there are a number of lessons that we can learn from these factories, how they're doing it, and what is the trend and what are the case studies. So I want to talk a little bit about these factories, some of the lessons that we're learning. What are you seeing from this research and from this data, Babu?
Sure, Naman. So first of all, these are beacon facilities being identified by the World Economic Forum. They started this many years ago, jointly with McKinsey Consulting. So initially they identified some 20 to 30 facilities. First, we need to pay attention to where are these located. You see that most of the facilities that they identified years ago are in Asia, right, are in Europe, Eastern Europe. We're not seeing facilities in North America. Why is that? I mean, we're 25% of the global economy, a lot of important manufacturing, other industries within the US. Why is it that we're not leading the way? So that is the first point. The second point is, if you were to look at these facilities, you would see the diversity, right? You would see BMW in Europe, right? You would see, pharmaceutical companies. You would see consumer goods companies, right? All industries, many industries are beginning to embrace technology to, further improve their efficiency, their agility, things of the sort. And we even, in recent years, we are even beginning to see companies that are highly profitable, including the oil industry. I mean, Aramco, right, from Saudi Arabia, one of the most profitable companies around the globe. They have 3 lighthouse factories. So it is not about who is hurting, who is not. We see adoption across industries, but it is troubling to see that, that the US is not taking the lead, right, in deriving the benefits that can stem from these tools and technologies. And of course, in the next couple of slides, we will be looking at the kinds of gains that are being experienced by these companies and
Right.
at these facilities.
So these are a number of these factories are brownfield factories. Maybe just a few of them maybe are greenfield. And I agree with you that there's a diversity of companies, there's a diversity of industries, and it range from small to medium to large companies. Um, so the type of projects these factories are doing. So we brought just a couple of examples, one from Medea, from China, and the other one is from here in Lexington from Schneider Electric. The type of projects that they're doing, there's one thing that many of these projects I've seen, Babu, is the use of data. That is fundamental in most of these case studies that I've reviewed, I've talked to, and I've interacted with some of these leadership. That data is one of them. But what else are you seeing? What are you inferring from these examples?
Absolutely. A lot of these technologies are about allowing us to collect better data to make more informed decisions, faster decisions, right? Drive better efficiency and things of that sort. But what we do see in just these two examples, it is end to end, right? Even within these two examples, like, so they are, for example, at the very bottom, right? Schneider Electric, better understand the customer feedback, right? Understanding the supply chain, improving demand forecasting. Demand forecasting is nothing new, right? But with better data pipelines, we can improve the quality of the forecasting. And if we are really, really good, we can even reduce the need for demand forecasting because we transform the company from thinking about push kind of a mindset to you are so fast in your ability to react to changes in demand that you can build the right product at the right time rather than relying on your ability to sort of forecast. Yeah, so whether it be logistics, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be quality, product development, wherever the pain points are, within your business, we are seeing applications of Industry 4, across the entire value chain.
Right.
And by the way, we should pay attention to the numbers on this right? These are gains being reported by these companies, right? 20% improvement in forecasting, 5% improvement in this case in overall equipment effectiveness, right? 20% improvement in customer satisfaction and also sustainability kinds of applications. 78%, reduction in CO2 emissions and things of its sort.
Right. And this, for example, just this case study about the digital energy management, it's all about collecting data from the sensors and IIoT across the factory, and then making some decisions based upon the data, and thus reducing the CO2 emission, energy usage, and all of those things. So that's some of these gains are there, but many of these companies started small with the small pilot projects, and then they start to involve people. And we're gonna maybe talk about a few of those things, a few other lessons. But here's maybe at a bigger a scale, at a higher level, what are the gains that are being reported? Productivity, factory output is increasing, OE is increasing, product cost reduction, operating cost reduction, quality improvements. So these are some of the KPIs, how this Industry 4 is impacting the KPIs. Then we look at the sustainability. Like in the previous example, Schneider Electric, we saw that the project they did from the energy management standpoint. So there's obviously some projects and gains we can have in sustainability. Another important one, another aspect that maybe in an operation sometimes we don't see as much is agility. This market, what I see is a market of speed. This is not the market of efficiency. Efficiency is gained by the speed, but the efficiency is not the main focus in this market. The people who are winning, you look at Google, Facebook, Alibaba, all the companies that who are winning, they push speed and they get efficiency because of the lesson learned. They achieve the lesson learned from that speed. So if you look at agility, speed to market, and a lot of these things. So Babu, what do you see from this picture, and what are your maybe key points?
So clearly here we're looking at data from many facilities, right? And by the way, just to make it clear, you see light blue points and dark blue points. Light blue points refer to initiatives within a single facility, right? Factory, lighthouses. And then you also see dark blue, which refers to end-to-end, right? Projects trying to transform the entire value chain. And what we see is the gains vary, right? Depending on the firm, depending on the problems that they're tackling and so on and so forth. Maybe you're already a world-class operation and you're trying to take it to the next level and so on and so forth. So we do see different levels of gains. There are companies experiencing 200% improvement in throughput. There are companies, facilities achieving 4% improvement in throughput. So it is all about identifying what are your real pain points. And often we would see this in the next couple of slides. It is not about doing a project, right? While we all have to get started with, pilots and things of that sort, most of these companies are interested in fundamental transformation of the business. They're not interested in doing a project and checking the box saying, I am there, right? This is about really, the mindset has to be, as you said at the beginning of the webinar, Naman, about changing the mindset. We are about fundamentally transforming our operations to be, more competitive.
So one of the common thought, or maybe a myth, I would say a myth,
Yes.
that these technologies are eliminating jobs.
Yes.
These technologies are going to put automation so that we don't have people working, and this is how the company is going to prosper. But we're not seeing from the numbers and from across the industry that the technology is creating more jobs. The technology is creating what I call high value jobs, where people are, is interesting for people, there's diversity for people, and it's less repetitive for people as well. So a lot of the jobs where there's a lot of repetition, now is moving to maybe jobs where you have to do some thinking, you have to do some problem solving using technology. Babu, talk about some of the other points that you see, some of the lessons learned that we are seeing from these studies.
Sure, Naman. So clearly there will certainly be automation of certain kinds of low value added labor activity. That is understood, right? That has been happening for a long time, and that is how we have achieved a lot of gains over the past several decades. But what you see is, look at where these lighthouse factories are located. They're located, many of them in China, right? Labor costs are not the reason, right? That is not the dominant factor. So if that is the case, we should be seeing most of these, lighthouse factories, not in China, but elsewhere and so on and so forth. So it is, as you pointed out earlier, it is about shifting the focus from, low value added work to high value added work. And as I noted earlier on the last slide, this is not about a project. This is about fundamental transformation, right? This is about new benchmarks being established. So a typical lighthouse factory has a 10 to 15 use cases, right? So again, this is not about a project. This is about fundamentally reimagining what our operation could be and how to basically drive the next level of efficiency and excellence. And then it is not, a siloed effort, right? So this is about working with ecosystems. Most of these lighthouse factories are working with technology partners, are working with universities, are working with consulting companies to achieve this transformation, because nobody has the right answer, and we all need to come together and leverage our strengths to be able to achieve this transformation. And we're doing that right here through IndustryX as well, as we will discuss in a bit. And it's for everybody. I mean, there are small companies doing this, there are large companies doing this, and this is happening in the developing countries, it is happening in the advanced markets. And as you commented earlier, much of this is happening in brownfields. So this is not the likes of Tesla opening a new gigafactory in Austin, Texas, and that is where I'm going to, best leverage. Much of this is happening in brownfield facilities. Yeah, so a lot of very important lessons for all of us.
Sure. But when we see this, Babu, especially in operations or manufacturing companies, we're seeing the gains are there, and the companies believe that that they need Industry 4, they need to do this, but only a few companies, 18% according to some numbers, maybe in my talking to people, I see maybe less than this. What is happening here, Babu? I think, or what can we do to improve this?
Yeah. From my point of view, two main points. First of all, we're talking about technology. We all know how long it is taking us to just master lean manufacturing principles, right? Learning from the likes of Toyota. It has taken us 50 years, right? Since the late 60s, early 70s to today. And even today, most companies are struggling to implement lean programs. Here we're talking about a lot of advanced technology, right? And if you don't do this right, some of these technologies can be expensive, but again, we will talk about how to leverage existing infrastructure that is present within a lot of companies and then building upon it. So yeah, there are a lot of unknowns, and I really think that this 18% is a significant overestimate. I would suggest that maybe low single digits, 1 or 2% of the companies really have a handle on this when we talk about complete factory transformation. So there is a significant opportunity, but we need to go through this with a lot of careful planning, carefully thinking about, what are the opportunities that are present. It's not technology for the sake of technology. It is about addressing the fundamental business pain points and then going beyond.
Right. So with this, Babu, just give us maybe a brief overview of what is happening at IndustryX and
Sure,
what is the mission?
Sure, Naman. So in the interest of time, we'll do this quickly. So in recognizing these fundamental opportunities and recognizing that in particular in the Midwest, in the Detroit metro area, we seem to be falling behind, and the data is suggesting that we are falling behind. And we used to dominate, for example, not just manufacturing, in healthcare, we have a lot of, great companies in this area, things of that sort. We seem to be left behind, right? And this transformation is taking place very quickly. So we thought it is important for us to basically establish an ecosystem that brings together, all these diverse stakeholders, businesses that need, guidance, technology companies, academics, researchers, students, as well as industry professionals, and bring them together, create a forum for us to think through, collectively work through these challenges, and addressing workforce development, right? Developing academic programs, helping companies with the proof of concept, projects, things of that sort. And of course, our singular focus is operational excellence, right? And our focus is not about, the traditional programs, which are still very important, about Lean and the Six Sigma. Our focus is on how to harness technology and AI to, drive this excellence. And we have, a proven track record. We have history of helping companies across industries through a variety of collaborations.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So what can we do? Is a good question. how can we start? So when I look at different companies, these companies are in different stages of their journey, what I call the journey to excellence. And when I look at a company, and every company set up a budget, an annual budget, a 5-year budget, a long-term budget, and that by the budget means that what the company wants to achieve, and how the company wants to survive or be relevant in this market. So every company defines some KPIs, some numbers. When I look at different companies, some companies are to the left of this budget. So this, if you look at this budget bar, some companies are to the left, and some companies are to the right of this this budget, meaning that they're surpassing, they're overachieving the forecast or the budget that they have put together. So that bring us, or that give us an idea that how the company is performing. So if the company is performing below the budget, we have some efficiency gaps. And what an efficiency gap is, because the budgets are built on some standards, and that means that the companies are not even meeting their standards, they're not following their processes. So there's a need to improve those processes, to change those standards. So that's where we need to establish this efficiency gap. And obviously, some of the companies that we're seeing in this, they're using Industry 4.0 to fill this efficiency gap. Now, some companies, when you look to the right, they're looking at their industry best. Their companies are doing better than them. They are achieving their budgets, but there are other companies who are doing better. So that's where the competitiveness gap comes into the picture. So what companies need to do is they need to understand that what is the benchmark and what is the delta. And based upon the delta, they need to define some projects, some actions, harnessing, leveraging Industry 4.0, and that will develop a journey for them. And the last one is the innovation gap, or the innovation potential, where the likes of Facebook or Amazon or Alibaba, or these highly innovative companies, what they have done. And we need to understand that what is the logic of this innovation that they have produced. And through this, establish what is missing, and then again, develop a roadmap or a plan. But this is how I would sit down with the leadership, and I would establish these gaps. And from there, the next thing is I want to talk about is, or I want to address is that, okay, now we understand the gap, but now we need to redefine value. How are we going to create value? How are we going to deliver that value? And the whole focus right now is, in the context of technology, we need to understand what is the low value work and what is the high value work, because the technology is setting new standards, and we need to understand that what used to be a value work is not a value work anymore. We used to put maybe, if you look at maybe through this Industry 1.0 to the journey to Industry 4, is people used to put a lot of things by hand, but we keep automating those things, and that type of work become non-value added, because we created value through automation, and we started to use people in a different way. Same thing here now, that there's a huge opportunity to understand the repetitive work that can be automated. There's a huge potential to understand a lot of the maintenance activities where we used to do maintenance plans and things like that. Now we can do predictive maintenance for change-based maintenance. So that's where I um, I like to challenge the leadership. I like to challenge companies to redefine value. So the first one is right work. What is the right work for me, which is creating value in this environment? So that is number one. Uh, so connecting this thought to the previous chart, the gap. So we have a gap, and we're seeing that. Look at example between Amazon and Walmart. Walmart, a traditional company, Amazon, a very non-traditional e-commerce company. And Walmart was making tons of money at one time, but they realized the value of work, the way that they were creating value for Walmart is not relevant anymore. So they moved into the e-commerce. So this is what I'm talking about from the value of work, right work, choosing the right work. Once you understand what is the right work, you need to think about what is the right workplace for this. Okay. And this is where technologies can come. This is where maybe automation can come. This is where digital can come. This is all these, the new thing that the buzzwords we're thinking, 3D printing, AR, VR. So what does the right workplace look like? Are we gonna be physical? Or are we gonna be virtual using Zoom? So this is the new dialogues that we need to have to redesign the workplace in this environment. And number three is the workforce. That's fundamental. Um, we can change the work, we can change the workforce, a workplace, but if you're not changing the workforce, if they're not thinking with the growth mindset, if they're not adopting the new skills, this transformation will not happen. So that's very key. That's very important. Very quickly, because of the interest of time, I'm just going to move quickly on this. We develop a four-step process. The first phase is discovery. This is where we understand what is the current situation and what is the future state. Three things we look at is number one, what is the guiding purpose? What is the company focus? What are the core values of the company? What is the vision and mission of the company? Understand the guiding focus and make it relevant in this current environment, number one. Number two is understand what are your winning capabilities, um, what are your skills, and what capabilities do you need. Okay. And number three is what is exciting out there. Okay, what is the exciting opportunity? Can you redefine your business? Can you redefine um, the way of working? And through this, we develop an aspiration blueprint. Step number two is alignment. Once you have aspiration blueprint, you need to align your company, people from top to bottom. And with this, we develop a transformation roadmap. And then from there, start some pilots. Start a small project on data science and analytics project. And we're going to talk briefly about this, and then scaling. But this whole idea of this transformation is we need to shed the project mindset. It's about organizational transformation, continuous learning and adaptation. Um, Babu, any key points, maybe um, some hints, or maybe from your experience, what works and what don't work?
No, I think you put it together quite well, Naman. And I would say, yeah, I mean, it is about leveraging what you have, but clearly articulating where is it that you would like to take the firm, the facility, things of that sort. So that should be the starting point, understanding your real business pain points, right? Whether it be in terms of efficiency, whether it be in terms of customer demand, whether it be, for supply chain coordination, it's quality, it is, service mismanagement, right? Warranty issues, whatever the issues might be, right? And it is, one should first try to best leverage what is available. A lot of companies do have good data infrastructure. Are you utilizing this data? We see this time and again when we go into even some of the biggest companies. A lot of these companies have, execution systems, factory information systems, right? Things of this sort. But companies really don't utilize that data to sort of drive, excellence. And it's not one size fits all in the sense there will be companies that all they need is real-time visibility, and that is all they need. There are companies that will be needing, more sophisticated analytics, predictive analytics, right? Being able to look to the future, what will the customers demand? What will the overall demand look like? Things of that sort. And then there are companies that would be needing more prescriptive analytics, like how should I act, right? Things of that sort. Again, the needs would vary from company to company, right? And that is, and we have to focus on leveraging the infrastructure that you have, right? We don't have to abandon any, right, what you have, right? And we don't have to abandon our rich processes, right? Effective processes, things like that. It is about leveraging what else is, what else is available to further drive excellence.
I agree. So when we look at the operations, we need to go back to the basics. And like Babu mentioned, data is king. We need to go back to the data and use the new techniques from the data science and analytics techniques to get more out of this data. At the same time, we need to cultivate the growth mindset and the problem-solving capability within the organization. This is very fundamental and very important for people to think as problems, as opportunities. Start a small experiment, try to solve it. And the mantra that I use or I say is, we need to dream big, start small, learn and scale fast. So this is the mantra, and this mantra has been adopted by most innovative and the leading companies, where they focus on speed and they dream big, start small, learn and grow fast. Number three is
one quick point. One quick point. When we talk about data science and analytics, the reason why a lot of analytics projects fail is because analytics initiatives tend to fail when you don't leverage the existing knowledge within the existing workforce. They have tremendous understanding for how to drive efficiency. So the data science should be combined with the knowledge that is present, the tribal knowledge, the formal knowledge that is present, and only then can we work towards, real transformation. But go ahead.
Right. So number three is embrace technology. And number four is just coming back to the point, Babu's point, we need to inspire people. We need to bring them along in this journey. This journey, you cannot take this journey just by the leadership. We need people. So this is something which is very interesting. Babu, I just want to maybe talk about maybe just a few case studies that we have done. This is an existing project that we are working on. Maybe if you can talk about some of these projects.
So IndustryX is currently involved in a pilot with a tier 1 automotive company. It is located in North America. It is a world-class lean production facility, one of the best companies there is in executing, Kanban-based full production, highly responsive, highly effective, continuous learning mindset, right? And they have about 1,000 employees. So the leadership within the company has identified, opportunities within this world-class lean manufacturing facility, right? So some of the pain points that they have identified is opportunity to further enhance the visibility to more effectively manage, daily operations, right? Very operational. What can I do in the next hour? What can I do in the next few hours? Things of that sort, right? So in this case, we are potentially exploring some smart BI dashboards that leverages the existing data infrastructure. So this facility already has rich data infrastructure, right? So how do we basically consume that information to drive further efficiency? Through this pilot, we have also recognized the need for improving labor metric data, because this is a highly skilled workforce, highly cross-trained, and they are used to, routinely moving the workers around to best align supply and demand, right? But the data has to be more effectively tracked so that they can, better manage their planning cycles, right? And then the company has also identified an opportunity to improve the planning lead times. So currently it is taking them several days, and through simple guided efforts, we can reduce that planning time from several days to potentially a few minutes, right? Giving the company the opportunity to take very rapid actions in response to surprises. A customer telling me, saying, don't ship me any product for the next 2 days, right? Things of that sort. How should I quickly reorganize to maintain that efficiency in the plan? So this is another project that we're involved with in the healthcare setting, right? So healthcare is significantly behind the manufacturing industry, often by a decade or even more, right? Healthcare in general lacked good data infrastructure until recently, right? Through the Obama administration, over $50 billion was made available to hospital systems to leverage to implement electronic health record systems and things of the sort. So their data infrastructure is improving. But in this case, it was about orchestrating operations within the hospital system to basically, better manage logistics, right? Better manage operating room activity, better manage appointment scheduling activity, better coordinating, clinic activities, things like that. So here, the goal was to leverage digital twin technology to sort of anticipate events, better pre-position resources to drive, operational excellence. If you can go to the next slide, Noman. So same thing, so we are involved with a couple of other hospitals doing something similar. And then we have a number of other case studies, right? More siloed case studies now, like looking at how to drive plant throughput. So this is something that we have done with a very large automotive OEM that was struggling, right? With equipment breakdowns and things of that sort, and how to prioritize, maintenance activities, things of that sort. The second case study is about another OEM struggling with die production, very long lead times, a lot of non-value added work, and how to sort of improve the lead times. And we have colleagues looking at how to combine maintenance and operations. And this is a very important point. IndustryX and associated tools and technologies allows us to sort of address often the inefficiencies that are at the intersection of multiple functions, right? We know how to maybe do better maintenance, we know how to do maybe better operations, but often we fail at the intersection of these functions, right? Logistics is not coordinated with production. Production is not coordinated with, inventory management. Inventory management is not coordinated with, something else, and so on and so forth. So the need to basically look at the entire, end-to-end value chain, that is where often there are a lot of opportunities. So we have, for example, an automotive company approached us to basically, reduce the cost of deploying predictive maintenance technology, right? So point solution technologies are expensive. How can we reduce the cost while, significantly improving operations? So there are a lot of case studies, and they're all available on the IndustryX website as well. People can check them out.
Right. So, like we said before, this hour was mostly about awareness about some of the things that is happening. And the next hour, we can have a more discussion. I pasted the link for the Zoom link. And also we have sent an email to all participants about this link. So we like you to join this next hour with us, where we can have a more discussion. So some final thoughts, focus on the value of work. We talked about this. Think end in mind, where you're heading is very important. Ecosystem is key to winning. And within the IndustryX ecosystem, we have companies like Reply Industries, we have companies like Here Technologies. We have many companies who have joined this network so that we can provide value collectively. Um, and this is where the value of the ecosystem comes in. And people matter, inspire them, um, dream big, start small, transform. So these are just a few final thoughts. Babu, any other thought from your side? And I'd like to maybe ask a few questions if somebody have any questions as well.
So I guess the main message is, we need to get started, right? You know, we have to get started. The pace with which change is taking place, that pace is only going to increase, right? And as we noted many times, this is particularly important for brownfields, particularly important for the Midwest, right? I mean, we have a lot of manufacturing industry. These companies need to reposition themselves to be competitive, for the next decades, right? And we are here to help and contribute in any form or fashion.
Right. And we have IndustryX website, industryx.org. There's more information. You can follow us on the LinkedIn page, and we're looking forward to work with everyone here. And now, if you have any questions, we have a few more minutes, and then we're gonna close this webinar, and then we're gonna move to this the next meeting, 1 hour, which is a discussion format. It's a virtual discussion. And I've posted the link as well. So just feel free to maybe copy that and use that link to come to this next session. With this, I'm just gonna stop right here, and I'm gonna ask participants if you have any further questions or any comments to this. So I know there was a comment made in the chat about Industry 5.0. And so after Industry 4.0, I think there's a talk about Industry 5.0 and how we bring people in the center of this whole transformation, more people-centric. That's another question. Another question, Babu, that I'm seeing here is where people are saying that that this data science and analytics is how can we work without this? There was a question asked, like, is it fundamental to start applying data science analytics or advanced analytics, or can we start small, or can we build on this?
I mean, as I noted, data science and analytics is not one size fits all, right? There are different kinds of analytics, right? Most companies are doing reasonably well with descriptive analytics, right? Things like real-time dashboards, right? So present me the data and let me make an informed decision on how to basically, make effective decisions. So that is the first step, right? We need to know how we are performing, right? Bless you, how we did, yesterday, how did we do in the last shift, right? How did we do over time, and so on and so forth. So that is a minimum, right? You need to know how you are performing, right? Without objective tracking of your performance, it's like that, how are we going to prioritize our efforts? But yeah, so when we say data science and analytics, there is a lot, and it's not a brand new discipline. It has been around for 7 decades. It's just that advances in computing technology, decreasing costs, right? Ability to work with large sets of data, we are able to now do more, right? With lower levels of investment. So the technology is advancing, data infrastructure is improving, costs are coming down, allowing us to do different things. Yeah, so there's no such thing as everybody has to do this, right? You do what is right for you and start the journey. The most important thing being, start somewhere.
Right. Here's another question. Just maybe we'll take a few more minutes before we close. So there's a question which is a very interesting question that with so many vendors out there, how do you
How
go
do you
about
right size,
right
right?
sizing solutions and vendors for the right problems? What do you think, Babu? Give us your opinion on this.
Yeah, so this is a place, so good, excellent question, Norman. This is a place where a neutral ecosystem like IndustryX can help, right? I mean, so we are not driven by a particular company, things of that sort. So we want to provide the most objective guidance, right? Yes, there are a large number of vendors. This is a big space, a big opportunity for tech companies and data science companies, things of that sort. And you need to make informed decisions, right? You need to, technology companies sometimes have a tendency to push, right, the technology. And for example, the current pilot that we're doing, right, this company is being approached by all kinds of companies saying we can do virtual reality for you, we can do, this and that. But how is that relevant for me? It's not relevant for me. But once you identify your pain points, right, I mean, there are lots of choices, and an organization like IndustryX can help provide more objective guidance. And then, of course, there are also consulting companies and others that can also provide, facilitate that selection process and right sizing.
Right. And last comment on this point is, I think the journey is you need to understand the value of work. I go back to this value of work first. That as a company, as individuals, you need to understand the value of work first, and then define the journey. And then once you define the journey, you will understand what is the right solution that you need and who can provide you those solutions. So that's where I will end right now. I really appreciate for you all to joining us, and I'm hoping that all of you or some of you can join us for the next part of this discussion, and looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.